French coastguards object to plan to intercept migrant boats near shore. Coast Guard and customs officials in France are sounding the alarm over a proposed change in maritime operations that could see small boats intercepted up to 300 meters off the French coast. The union representing the Coast Guards describes the doctrine as deadly, and argues it could lead to loss of life and violations of international law. What's the proposal? Under the plan, the French authorities would authorize patrol boats to intercept small migrant-carrying vessels in shallow waters, close to the shore, to prevent their attempt to cross the English Channel from France to the UK. Specifically, the limit mentioned is up to 300 meters from the French coastline. The doctrine is said to permit pulling dinghies back to shore once intercepted. The initiative is linked to cooperation between France and the UK, which has long sought to halt small boat crossings. Why the Coast Guards are protesting. The Union of French Customs Officers and Coast Guards, Solidaires Douanes, has written to the French Customs Director General, expressing strong opposition. Their key points. They label the plan a deadly doctrine, which contravenes international conventions to which France is a signatory. It is described as inhumane, absurd and shameful, and said to carry risk of shipwrecks and deaths. They argue that the moral and criminal responsibility for any resulting deaths would fall entirely on those who execute the interventions. They raise concerns that acting so close to shore, on unstable dinghies in shallow waters with women, children on board, increases the chance of catastrophe. A French police union also indicated that the plan is on hold because of safety concerns. We considered at the time it was too dangerous. The rules, for the moment, are the same. There's no change in the way we do things. What the UK response has been. The UK government, via its Home Office, has stated that small boat crossings are utterly unacceptable, and emphasized the importance of disrupting the smuggling networks behind them. It views the French doctrine as a key piece of bilateral cooperation. France is a critical partner in tackling illegal migration. We continue to work closely together as they review their maritime doctrine, which will allow officers to intervene in shallow waters. Despite these statements, the UK Border Security Commander has expressed frustration with the pace of implementation on the French side, citing rapid changes in French government and politics as complicating factors. Risks and legal concerns. Several humanitarian and legal organizations warn that intercepting small boats at sea, especially in shallow waters close to shore, carries major risks. It may increase the risk of capsizing or shipwreck, particularly for overcrowded, unseaworthy dinghies. It could conflict with international maritime law, for example, the obligation to render assistance at sea and the right to leave any country. It might serve only as a political stunt, rather than a practical, safe solution to the challenge of migratory crossings. Humanitarian groups argue the plan addresses a symptom, small boat crossings, without offering safe legal routes or addressing the underlying causes. Why this matters. The Channel migration route has been a persistent challenge for both France and the UK, with thousands attempting crossings each year. Any change in the French-UK operational doctrine affects not just enforcement, but also broader issues of human rights, asylum policy and international cooperation. For the UK, the doctrine is seen as a way of stemming the flow of taxi boats that collect passengers in shallow French waters and ferry them across. For France, the concern is whether the operational risk is too high, especially for the coastguards who would execute the plan. What happens next? At present, France is reviewing the proposed doctrine. The Home Office has confirmed this. Until then, the rules remain unchanged. French coastguards are not authorized under the current regulation to routinely intercept in those shallow waters unless a rescue is required. The UK is pushing for earliest possible deployment of the new tactic. Unions in France continue to warn of potential human cost and legal exposure. Conclusion. The dispute over the proposed interception doctrine underlines the tension between two objectives. On one hand, the desire by governments to curb irregular migration and dismantle people smuggling operations in the Channel. On the other, the obligation to protect lives at sea, adhere to international law and safeguard the welfare of both migrants and enforcement personnel. The French Coast Guard's objection makes it clear that operational risk is not abstract. It could become literal. Until the doctrine is reviewed, ratified, or revoked, and operationalized with robust safeguards, the status quo persists. For the UK, that means the plan remains a promise rather than a deployed measure. If you like, I can pull together reactions from migrants, humanitarian organizations and maritime law experts to give you a fuller picture.